Welcome back, SethBling here, and today's command block contraption adds a cool waterfall effect to your world. So if I go ahead and place some water here, after a moment we'll start to see these little waterfall particles coming up, and if you listen carefully you can hear a pretty quiet sound of the waterfall rushing. So that's like a small waterfall. The cool thing is though, it actually does different effects, kind of more potent effects, the higher up the waterfall starts. So here the sound is much louder, and obviously the particle's a bit more vigorous. Let's see, it goes up. This is I think the max height at which it starts to do its thing. So there we go. The most vigorous that the waterfall gets. Lots of particles, pretty loud waterfall sounds. Pretty cool. It supports multiple waterfalls. I think if I come over here, this was my old mirror contraption. I can add several in here. This should work fine. Yep. And so we got all these things. The render distance is pretty good, so even if I go pretty far away, I can't hear the sound, but I can still see the particles. Still looks pretty good. And when the waterfalls go away, the particles all go away. So it's a pretty cool effect. You can import this contraption into your world, and it'll just work. Let me talk about briefly how it works. So in order to find the waterfalls, I have to kind of scan the world. And in order to scan the world, let's go to game mode 3. I use these armor stands. These are markers, so they're invisible and they're invulnerable and stuff. You can't interact with them. The only effect you can actually see, I noticed this is kind of a bug in Minecraft. If I come over to the water, you can see they kind of create little water bubbles when they hit the water, and that is definitely a bug, but it's a small cosmetic effect and it doesn't really matter. So anyway, I have these armor stands, and they're kind of scanning from top to bottom, looking for waterfalls. And so they scan from top to bottom. Each tick they move down by one frame. It's a pretty wide swath of them, and then they're all looking in this direction and in this direction by about 10 blocks for waterfalls. So this is a kind of a shortcut. This is a way of not requiring too many command blocks to sweep out a pretty large cubic volume. So that's actually pretty critical, and it's a cool technique I've never seen before that allows you to sweep out a large area. Actually, I still want to be in spectator mode. So now that we're in spectator mode again, we can see there's some armor stands, invisible armor stands. You have to look kind of carefully, but there's invisible armor stands sitting in the water, and those mark out where the waterfall effects are. And so if let's see if I can do this quick enough. Game mode 3. Okay, well they already disappeared. But when the armor stands are constantly checking to make sure that they're still part of a waterfall, and if they are, then they stick around and they cause that effect. If they're not, they kill themselves. They disappear and they stop the waterfall effect from happening. But that's how we're able to have the waterfall effect stick around even after a player leaves the area. And so any new waterfalls that occur aren't going to have that effect, that visual effect, until a player comes nearby. But once a player does come nearby, it'll be permanent until that waterfall goes away. But it shouldn't cause a big performance impact or anything. There's not really a ton of processing going on with each of these. And so, pretty cool. And yeah, so you just import this into your world if you want it. Make sure that this thing is in clock mode, and go ahead and hit this reset button right here to make sure that it's going to work. But otherwise, I should just be able to import this into your world, and it should make this cool waterfall effect. That's about it. Thanks for watching.